But today, the father of 9 is speaking in his very first TV interview about a very family tragedy. It hits very close to home, the loss of his daughter, Tatiana Miller. She was 29. She'd been battling substance abuse for nearly a decade, and she openly discussed her struggle with addiction on the reality series Growing Up Hip Hop, where Master P and his son, Romeo Miller, encouraged Tatiana to get help. In May, though, Tatiana lost her battle with addiction and died by accidental overdose.
And I thought it was about my daughter's death. I thought you was grieving. Mental illness is real. But I want to tell all the people out there that just don't understand how bad my heart hurt. Romeo lost a sister, but I lost a daughter. And for any parent that's going through this, because I know debt, it brings people closer together or it tear them apart. I'm just not helping ungrateful people. I'm not an ATM machine. People can't just say they love me when I give them something.
This is what happens when you raise entitled children who never really go through any type of real struggle. You don't take care of your mental health, and then you treat social media as if it's God or as if it's a therapist, and it's not.
Oh yeah, Diddy got a podcast.
Man, welcome back to another episode of the Ruling Class Podcast. And of course, I'm your host, Diddy, back on Fitness Witch. What another video. If you're new to the show, please know your boy is thirsty to grow and to drink some of this random beverage. You can help me out by liking this video and subscribing to the channel. But don't worry, I'm going to give you a sec to do that. Help me out. I appreciate you. So look. Master P, who is a hip-hop mogul, for those of you who don't know, I like to think that a lot of you know who that is, but if you don't, he's a popular rapper and, you know, business CEO, really, from the Louisiana area. He's also an actor. He's done a lot of things. He's went into real estate, a lot of things, and he has a son named Romeo, or Lil Romeo, whichever it is that he goes by, who also used to have his own television show when he was a lot younger. So they've been a very successful family. Very popular in the so-called black community. I know a lot of so-called black people are going to know who they are. Anyways, they've recently had a back and forth on social media where Lil Romeo was calling out his dad and calling him all, you know, claiming that his dad was broken, that his dad put on an image that wasn't real, and that people don't know who he really is behind closed doors, and he's upset with his dad. And it all stemmed from Ella DeGeneres, her DJ, I believe his name is DJ Twitch, just recently passed away, and it's been alleged that he committed suicide. And I believe Master P made a post about it, sending his condolences. And I believe that's what kind of upset Lil Romeo, because earlier this year, Lil Romeo lost his sister, which was Master P's daughter, due to, you know, her struggle with addiction. And, you know, unfortunately, she passed away from an overdose. That's what they're reporting, right? So anyways, we're going to, Master P just recently responded, and we're going to react to his video, because there's a few things that I think we can learn from this, and it can be a really teachable moment for both sides.
Today a sad day because I got to get out of character and put this on the internet, which I don't want to do. But I try to call my son. People say, why you call? I did. He don't call back. It's been months. So my question is to Romeo, like, if you've been in the business for long as you've been in, and you're a 30-something-year-old man, and if you've been around me, watching me hustle and do my thing, why you not where you want to be at? Because that means you're not listening. That means you want to do your own thing. You done brought your own circle of people, but you can't get mad at me, because I really thought this was about, the only reason I entertained this on social media, I thought it was about the DJ Twitch post I put up, and I thought it was about my daughter's death. I thought you was grieving. Mental illness is real. But I want to tell all the people out there that just don't understand how bad my heart hurt. Romeo lost a sister, but I lost a daughter.
Let me just go ahead and jump in here now, because I already see what's happening here. When you have what it appears, I believe Master P is in his, what, maybe mid to late 50s, something like that. When you have a 50-plus-year-old man on social media who, from my understanding, don't even know how to work social media very much. When you have him going on social media, having to reach out to his son, that's already a bad sign. The first thing we can learn from this is social media. I understand in 2022, a lot of people feel like social media is the place to go because we all have access to each other, but it's not the place to go to air out your parents. It's not the place to go really to air out other people. You can talk to people in privacy, and I feel like that's something that's lost in 2022. And then like it makes it that much worse when you're airing out your own dad on social media. No matter what your dad did, you can talk in private. You can work something out in private. Because once you put something on social media, there's two things I always say about social media that I don't think will ever change. One, social media is undefeated. You're not going to be able to beat the internet. Once you put that information out, there, people are free to do with it as they please, right? You can't control what other people think. You can't control what other people say about whatever it is. So when you put it out there, make sure that it's what you really mean, because that leads me to my second point. Social media is forever, which means what? Once you put something on social media, you can delete it. But I can guarantee, especially when you're a celebrity, I can guarantee you somebody screen recorded it, screenshotted it, shared it, downloaded it, sent it to somebody else. It's happened. So once you put it out there, just make sure it's what you really want to do, because you have your dad on social media, and I can hear the pain in this man's voice. Now, I'll be the first to admit, I have no idea what's going on between them behind closed doors. I don't know what the truth is. I'm just hearing what this man is saying. I've seen what Romeo, some of the things Romeo has said on social media, and I'm just saying this is a man who's clearly grieving in some sort of way, and this is the only way he feels like he can reach out to his son. So that's the biggest problem. That's the first problem. The second problem is mental health. Please take care of your mental health. I understand that in the so-called black community, it's very bad, but I think it's bad in a lot of communities, but especially the so-called black community. I know a lot of times we're told to suck it up. We're told to figure it out. Right, we're told that it'll get better with time, you know. But there are proper outlets, and there are proper ways in 2022. There are many different ways that we can figure things out, and we can get our mental health taken care of, and not let that trauma build up. Because trauma is only going to make things worse, especially when you're talking about losing a loved one, right? So we have to understand that, because when you mix on top of that trauma, when you mix depression, when you mix bad mental health with social media and the turmoil that it creates, that's a recipe for disaster.
And for any parent that's going through this, because I know that it brings people closer together or it tear them apart. But I come from nothing, y'all. And I could go back. I'm cool with it. I won't be angry at God. I won't be upset. I won't go get mad and be disrespectful to my parents and none of that stuff. I just said, Dad, thank you for putting me in this world. Now I can get out and hustle and go do my thing. But that's the problem. When you take kids and you kind of like protect them from the real struggle and the pain, and you don't allow them to deal with their own consequences. And then when they grow older, you never gave me nothing. At 30-something, man, people could go back and look, you've been shining for a long time, son. All you got to do is pick up the phone and call me or come to the house and holler at me. The saddest thing about this is what the people want to see. They want to see destruction. So if you destroy me, what are you going to do for the rest of the family? Are you going to take care? You told me on the post that you put up, oh, you go take care of people in the community. That's what you're supposed to do when you come from that. You go help people. I'm just not helping ungrateful people. I'm not an ATM machine. People can't just say they love me when I give them something. I'm tired of that, y'all. And any other parents, you could be rich or poor at a smaller level. You might give your kid $10, but if that's all you got, I've always fell off, got back up, hustled, did my thing. I'm tired of all these blog sites and all this stuff, poking and having fun. Y'all can. But I'm about to go back to work and do what I got to do. I love my family. My door is always open for my son. To be honest, because we shouldn't have to go through this.
I'm not going to make this story about me at all. Well, I should say, I'm not going to, focus this story on me primarily. But I do want to say this. A lot of you all know certain things about my personal upbringing. Some of you don't. But when I was a kid, with my mom, we've lived in like at least 10 or 15 homeless shelters. Battered women shelters. I don't know if you know what that means. But battered women shelters is basically like single moms who are dealing with some sort of domestic violence, right? Maybe they're running from their husband. In my particular case, my mom was running from her. My stepdad, who was hitting on her at the time, beating on her at the time. So anyways, I've lived in many shelters as a kid, as a young kid, right? And so that's really what I've known. I don't like to ever say that I come from nothing, because we all come from something, but I come from very little. So coming from that, it gave me a different perspective on life. When you're young, sometimes you think that because if it's your only experience, that's all you know. That's your reality, right? What you experience in life shape how you see life. It shaped what your reality is. It makes sense, right? So if you grow up rich, spoiled, and sheltered from everything, that's all you know. Well, in my particular case, because I grew up so poor and I grew up moving from city to city, shelter to shelter, sleeping on family member couch to family member couch with my mom, that's all I knew. right? That's how I shaped life. So when I was in like high school or middle school, I moved in with this family, right? And it was an African-American family who had their life together. Like, it was a mom and a dad in the home. They had money. Like, she owned a business and he was a firefighter. It was great. It was like, it changed my world. It was right there in the same city that I grew up in. I didn't even know existed, right? I'm bringing this up to say their children, they took me in like I was one of their own, and I'm forever indebted to them. I'm forever grateful for them by the, the grace of the Most High. But their children would complain about things at times sometimes. Not like all the time, but they would complain about things. And I'm like, I would always be confused because I'm like, bro, you're upset that you only got 2 pair of shoes to start the school year off? Like, I legit have roaches at home. And every house we've ever lived in have roaches. And not just a little bit of roaches. I mean, it's roaches in our sink, in our refrigerator. That's all I ever knew. Like, that was normal for me. So when I went to other people's houses and I didn't see roaches, I was like, oh, shoot. I remember going to class and, like, roaches crawling out of my bag. And one of my classmates seeing it, and everybody trying to figure out where the roach came from. And I'm just praying to God nobody ever sees that roach come out of my backpack. The point is, we shape reality based on what we experience. And this is the result of what happens when you spoil your children. This is what happens when you make your children feel entitled. I'll say this. I don't have children just yet, but I do plan to do this. Once I have children, I am going to make sure that my children understand that, listen, Dad is going to help take care of you. Daddy's got your back. I'm going to always be here. You're going to have unlimited access to me, right? But my money and my success is my money and my success. Now, because you're my child, Daddy's going to look out for you. But I'm going to give you the necessary education to make sure you have a proper education. I'm going to make sure I equip you with the right resources, the right tools, the right knowledge, right? And the right hunger and the right drive to be able to provide for your own family. Not for you to grow up and be in your 30s like Romeo is and feel like everything is owed to you from your dad, because it's not. Again, I don't know all the details behind the, behind the scenes. Maybe there's other things that I don't know about, the details. But overall, I feel like this is a mistake when we're rich, or not even if we're rich. If we're some sort of successful and we spoil our children and make them feel like everything they have, they're entitled to it and we owe it to them just because we gave birth to them. No, I'm entitled to make sure you're safe and you have the basic necessities that you need. Everything else is extra, especially when you're an adult.
And if I'm wrong, forgive me. I'm apologizing to you if I'm wrong. I'm still a work in progress. I come from nothing. Everybody go through trauma. I'm dealing with this right now, but I love going out into the community and helping people. That's the way I heal. Allow me to heal. I don't have to be sitting around moaning and crying and all. I can't get my daughter back, but I can get out there and keep a legacy going, keep a name going. So let's do this in love and let's do this in peace, because this is what the system wants. Think about it. We stronger together, but you older now. So you got to lead by example for the rest of the kids. And really get through this, I'm just telling y'all, keep y'all prayers. We need it. And God gonna do what he gotta do. I'm not gonna come on here no more. So bloggers and everything else is cool. Whatever you want to deal with Romeo. Whatever y'all think he's saying is true or whatever, that's cool too. I can live with it. I'm at peace now. I had to speak my piece.
Listen, and I heard what he said. I appreciate what he said. And again, this is a teachable moment. My last point that I want to make, though, that I haven't spoken on is God. Right? God is almost never mentioned, especially in these secular circles, right? In conversations, people almost never mention God. And if they do, they mention it on a surface level or a basic level. They just say, I love God, or give praise to God, and they leave it at that. No, we really need to seek and put our faith in the Most High, right? A lot of us are operating and we call ourselves men and women of God, but are we really? Are we really? Because I know I have to work on that in my life. You have to make sure, like, you're not just putting on an image, right? And you're not putting on an image for social media, because I know that's a very big thing that a lot of us do, right? We have to seek God. We have to seek Jesus Christ. I want to say this too. This video is not about bashing Romeo, right? Because again, I've said many times in this video, I have no idea. We have no idea all the details behind the scenes. I seen somewhere where Romeo posted and said he was about to get his first ever check from Rap Snacks. If you don't know what Rap Snacks is, there's some potato chips, right, based from the hip-hop community or whatever, and Romeo is one of the people who is on the face of one of these Rap Snack bags, right? So he's claiming that he's about to get his very first check, and I guess he's insinuating that his dad never allowed him to see contracts, and that his dad kind of hid those sorts of things away from him. Now, if that is true, that is absolutely wrong on his dad's part, and I hope they figured it out. I still, even now, say I don't think social media is the place to come to. I think there's better ways to handle it. But again, we're not in his situation. I'm not in his situation, so I can't decide for that man. But I seen something so where it said something perfect. It said, somebody said, discuss family business wherever you want. That closet under the rug stuff perpetuates family lies, family secrets, abuse, generational trauma. No more. It was Master's way of getting away with RAPE, right? I don't want to say that word on here, you know, and other abuses. It was a defense mechanism to survive captivity, abuse, and other, you know, sorts of trauma. Now, I think that was very important. I saw that comment. I was like, I should give them a shout out because that was a dope comment. And I think that's right. But again, I think there's a better way to do it than to come on social media and just to bash your dad, because what do you get out of doing that? That's all I'm saying. Like, airing your dad out, does it fix the contracts? Does it fix the financial part of things? Because if anything, it might make it worse. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you have to go legal, you may have to go legal. I'd hate for that to happen within family, but sometimes you have to do that. That's all I'm saying. So I want to go ahead and say that on behalf of Romeo's part, because I don't know what that man is experiencing. He lost a sister. We don't know financially what's going on and what's happened to him. Like I said, he used to be on the show. They've been a successful family in the public eye. Now, behind the scenes and with the contracts and the legal side of things, we don't know what's been happening. So I want to put that out there. Peace and love to everybody. Y'all hop in the comment section. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Until next time. Peace.
Oh, yeah. Diddy got a podcast.